This is the Roulette Master, and I'm so excited today to share with you an incredible new roulette system called Splitting Corners by Silent Tiger. And today we're going to test his incredible new system in a head-to-head matchup with one of the best, with Moving Corners from Kentucky White. And I think you're going to love this matchup today, and I can't wait to see which one makes the most money in 15 minutes. So we'll start with Moving Corners first. You can pick any two corners that you like, and we're going to start with those two right there and spin. And when I'm in Vegas, a lot of times when I run into subscribers, they're playing this system because so many people love it so much. And here we go. That's a nice $35 win to start. And when people ask why Kentucky White only starts with two, that's why. If you hit the two, it's huge. And let's keep moving them around. We're up $35 after one spin, and here we go. Okay, that's a 23 red. And when we missed that one, let's add one more. And again, we can add it wherever we want and spin. We're not going to double the bet until we get to 4. But let's see if we can get a win right here. And that's a 30 red. And we lost that one, so let's add one more. And we'll add this one right here. And then once you get to 4, you always double. And that's your trigger to go ahead and double the bet for the first time. And that's a 15 black there. Okay, we missed that one as well. When you get to the 5th corner, you have to add it in at 10 because the rest of the bets are already at 10. And then we're just going to double the bet from there and spin. And the cool thing about Kentucky White systems is, every time that you lose, you have a better chance of winning the next spin. And there it is right there. And we're already up $50 with this system. And we're going to pick two corners, any two that you want. And let's spin. The only thing is you have to keep moving them around. Don't keep them in the same spot. And here we go. That is a 28 black. And we didn't get it, so let's go ahead and add a third one in. But again, we don't double till we get to 4, and here we go. Okay, we have a 2 black there. We lost that one as well, so now we're at 4, so that means we're going to double the bet. So now we have a $40 bet out there instead of a $20 bet, and instead of 5 on each, now we have 10. That's a 22 black, and we didn't get the win. And again, when you get to 5, you add that 5th one in at 10, and then you double, and then all of a sudden now we have a $100 bet out there. Let's see what we get on this one. That's a 14 red. That should be good. There's a good win. We're up 65 bucks, and we'll pick two corners again and spin. Just keep moving them around with Kentucky White's moving corners. Here we go. That's a 4 black. Close but no cigar. Let's go ahead and add a third one and spin. And here we go. All right. That is a 16 red. That's a good hit there on just 3 corners. And now we're up 85 bucks. So the earlier you hit it, the better. And let's pick those two right there and get going again with moving corners. And that is a 00. So we definitely lost that one. We're going to add a third one in, but we're not going to increase the bets yet. We're just going to add one more $5 bet. And now all of a sudden we have 12 numbers instead of 8. And here we go. That's a 7 red. That's a loss. So let's go ahead and add another one in there. Now that we're at 4, remember to double and spin. And here we go. Okay, that is a 5 red, and that is another loss. So we're going to add the 5th one in at 10. So let's go ahead and do that, and then double. And now we're at that $100 bet again. But each time that we lose, we have a better chance of hitting the next spin. And we lost that one. That's a 36 red. So now for the first time, we're going to add in a 6th corner, and we're going to go add it in at 20 because the rest are already at 20. Okay, so let's do that and then double and spin. Now we have a really good chance of hitting now that we have 6 corners out there. And that's a 16 red. But we lost again. And if you lose with 6, you're just going to go ahead and double the bet again. And now we have a 480 total bet out there. This is a $2,000 bankroll system. And let's hope we get a win here. Okay, that's a good win, but you see we're not in session profit. So what you're going to do next is you're going to remove that last one that hit. Okay, and then we're going to try to get one more win here, and let's see if that'll propel us into really good profits here. That's a 24 black. That's a $320 win. Now we're up 240 bucks. Now you don't want to have to go that far with the progression, but if you do and you go through that method, you're going to definitely increase your profits. But it is a little bit of a risk. But most of the time, you're not going to make it to 6 corners like that and then lose multiple times. So most of the time, you're going to be somewhere in that 2 to 5 range. And let's go ahead and spin. That's the number of corners I'm talking about. And here we go. That's a 0. We lost that one. So we're going to add our 4th one in, which triggers us to double the bet and spin. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we get here. That's an 11 black. Okay, that's a $50 win. We're up $265. All right, let's spin again. And here we go. That's a 22 black. Okay, that's a loss, but no big deal. We're just going to add our 3rd one and spin. $15 total bet now. 12 numbers covered. And this is moving corners. That's a 26 black. Okay, we didn't get that one, so let's add a 4th one in and then double. Okay, $40 total now. Let's see if we can get our profits up there where we need them, and that's a 21 red. That's a good win. So now we're up $290. And truthfully, when I say that, you could cash out right now, but we're going to test it for the full 15 minutes like we always do on the channel so that you can see the ups and the downs of each system. But when you get up this much, cash out and declare victory. That is a loss. Let's go ahead and add another one in. And we'll do that and spin. And they're all at 5 still. We haven't doubled the bet yet because we're still at 3. And here we go. That's an 18 red. All right, that's a $30 win. We're up $310 now. And anytime you hit them with 2 or 3 or 4, you're really adding profit. So let's go ahead and add those 2 in. We can put them wherever we want as long as we're moving them around. And that's a 19 red. Okay, that is a loss. So we're going to add a 3rd one in. And again, you can add it way over here if you want to. You can add it wherever you want as long as you're moving them around. And that's a 10 black. And we didn't get that one, so this is our 4th one. So we're going to go ahead and double now, and now we're going to be at 40. So let's see if we can get a win here with 16 numbers. And that's a 00, so definitely not going to get the win on that one. So let's add a 5th one in, and remember, we add these in at $10, and then we double. Okay, here we go. You can put it wherever you want, as long as you're moving it around. Oh my goodness, look at this. It's going to really test us today. That's back-to-back zeros, and we're going to add a 6th one in now. The 6th one has to be added in at $20 because the rest are already at 20, and then we double up. So we'll see where we're at in profit once we get a win here, and we'll make the best decision we can based on where we're at. But we lost again, so we're going to double up. We're going to go 240 to 480 and spin. Again, this is a $2,000 bankroll system, and we need to recover here. And that's a 30 red. Okay, that's a nice $240 win. We're up 145, and let's go ahead now and remove that one that hit last. Okay, but usually you don't go to 6 corners as fast as we did because this is our 2nd time, but that's okay. That's a 3 red. And ouch, that one hurt. So now we're at minus 255, which means we have about $1,700 left in the bankroll. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to double this up. And then we're also going to add one more back in. So those are at 160. Let's go ahead and add another one in back at 160. Okay, let's do that. Give us a better chance of hitting. And here we go. All right, let's get a win here. This is a pretty high bet, but we have a real good chance of hitting, and that's a 24 black. Okay, that's a 480 win. We're back up to 225. At this point, I would recommend starting over, and let's go ahead and pick 2 and spin again. Even if you're not in session profit, if you have a really high bet like that and you get a win, you want to start over. And that's a loss. We're back up to 15. Let's add another one. We'll just build it back up again. But that's also why once you get up, $200, $300, $400, when you're playing, cash out and That is a loss there. So let's add a fourth one and then double and spin. Most of the time you stay between, 4 and 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5 corners. But that's a 21 red there and a loss. So let's see if we can get, let's add one more in here at 10 and then double and spin. And we'll see if that continues or if we start getting on a roll here. That's an 11 black. There we go. That's an $80 win. We're up 240. So we're starting to build it back up, and it's always better to build it back up than it is to risk it all and lose it all. So, if you're in profit and your bets are high, go ahead and restart. And that's a loss. We're going to add a third one in and then spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 5 red. And that's a loss. Let's add a fourth one in and then double. Here we go. Let's see what we get here. And that's a 5 red. We didn't get it, so we're going to add a fifth one in. We add that in at 10 and then double because the rest are already at 10. And let's get a win here. We have a much better chance now, and that's a 3 red. We didn't get it again. So now we're going to add that sixth one in again at 20. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to double up and spin. And let's see if we can get a win here. That's a 23 red. Okay, we got the win. We're up 195. We're going to go ahead and remove that 23 corner now. Okay, and then we're going to try to get a win right here and spin. All right, let's do it. We have pretty good coverage still, and that's a 24 black, and that is the same corner that we just took off, darn it. We're at -5, so we're going to have to double that bet again. And then let's add the sixth one back in here just so we have a better chance of hitting. And so that'll be at 80. Let's see here. Okay. And let's go ahead and spin. Here we go. That's a 33 black. Yeah, it's a 240 win. We're up 235. And at this point, you want to just restart. So let's do that. And spin. And here we go. Let's build it back up there in the last 3 minutes. I think we can do it. And we've had a lot of zeros today. So let's go ahead and we'll add a third one in now. And then spin. And no more zeros. Here we go. That's a 35 black. It's a good thing we put that one over there. That'll help us build it back up. And now we're back up 255. And again, it's much better to be up 255 than take a risk with a huge bet to stay up, at $300 because we can build it back up there in no time. And let's do that. So we'll add a third one in and spin. And here we go. But hopefully by seeing, that we have made it to 6 a couple different times and lost it at 6 a couple different times, that when you get up a good amount, and we're going to add this fourth one in and double, that you'll cash out and make sure that you are a winner for the day. And here we go. That's a 24 black. Okay, that's a good one. And now we're up 280, so you can see we're building it back up. Let's go ahead and add those two in on the far left this time and see if we can get a win here. Okay, that's an 8 black. That's a really good one. See, we're already back up 315. No reason to risk it all just for, $100 or $150. We can build it right back up, and that's a 3 red. And we lost that one, so let's go ahead and add a third one in and spin. We'll double at 4, and then we add them in at 10 at 5 and double. Add them in at 20 at 6 and double. That's a 16 red. Okay, we almost got that one, but we did not. So we're going to add a fourth one in and double and spin. Let's see if we can get a 17 black here. That'd be good. Oh, I almost called it. That's a 32 red. But we'll take the win, and we're at 340. I don't know why. I was feeling that one. Every once in a while, I'm sure you guys do the same thing. You're like, man, I think it's going to hit this number. And we're up $340 now. So we built it back up pretty quickly. And that's a 20 black. Ooh, and that was close, but we didn't get it. So let's add a third one in. and spin. And maybe it'll repeat right there. Let's see. Ooh, that's a 0. Okay. So I think we've had around 5 zeros this session. That's a lot. But let's add a fourth one in and then double. And let's see if we can recover right here. We're getting close to the 15-minute mark, but not quite there yet. Okay, let's add our fifth one in. Remember, we add that in at 10, and then double and spin. I think we'll get the win here. Let's see what we get. That's a 10 black. We didn't get it, so that takes us to 175 profit. We'll go ahead and add the sixth one again. Remember, we add that in at 20. And let's go ahead and do that. And then double and spin. All right, let's get a win here. Okay, that's an 18 red. Okay, 120 win. And time just expired, so we made $295 profit with Kentucky White's moving corners. And that's a great system, but cash out when you get up a good amount. Don't keep playing until you get to 6 a few times and have more risk. Get up and then get out and declare victory. And now it is time for the new roulette system of the day from Silent Tiger. Can't wait to share this one with you. So let's jump right in and get started. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for Splitting Columns by Silent Tiger. I'll share with you how to place the bets and how you can use this to win money in the casino like he's doing. And we're going to look at the second to last number that hit to start. And we're going to put a $10 bet there on the third column. That'd be the 36 red. Then we have the 20 black in the third and the third spot, and we're going to put a $20 bet there. So that's second column. That's a $30 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. Okay, that's a 34 red. And we lost the very first one. That's okay. When you do lose, what you do is you increase by what they started with. That's a small part of this, but let's get started doing that. And this one was at 20, so it's going to go to 40. The other one's going to go from 10 to 20, and let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. That's a 21 red. And that's a break even. And if that happens, you just rebet and spin again. You don't do anything different, just rebet. And here we go. That's a 14 red. And that's a nice $60 win. So you see we're up 30 bucks now. So now we're going to start over. We're going to look at the 21, which is the second to last number to hit. And we'll put a $10 bet there. The number that's third in line is the 34. We're going to put the $20 bet there. And let's spin. So we're looking at the history board on that, and that's a 14 red. Okay, we lost right out of the gate again. That happens. Let's go ahead and increase by what they started with. So this one will go from 10 to 20, and the first column will go from 20 to 40. But we're not doubling. We're just increasing by what they started with. And that's a 22 black. That's a nice $60 win. So now we're up 60 bucks. And in the second spot, we have the 14. So we'll put a $10 bet there. And then in the third spot, it's also the same column. So we have to go to the next one. In that case, the third column, the 21 red, is where the $20 bet goes. And let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. That's a 9 red. That's a nice $30 win. We're up $90 now. In the second spot, we have the 22. We'll place our $10 bet there. And in the third spot, we have the 14. So we'll put our $20 bet on that one. And now we need a second column hit. Here we go. And that's a 0. So we don't win either. And we don't break even. So that's the worst thing that can happen. But when it happens, no big deal. You just go from 20 to 40 on the one that was 20. And then the one that was 10 goes 10 to 20. And let's spin. And let's see if we can get a second column hit here soon. That's a 1 red. I think that is a break even. And it is. That doesn't hurt you any. We're still up. And we just rebet and spin on first and second column. Okay, here we go. That's a 15 black. And we lost that one. Complete loss. So we go up by what they started with. This one goes from 40 to 60. This one goes from 20 to 30. And let's spin. Okay, here we go. That's a 16 red. Break even. Won't hurt us any. We're just going to rebet and spin. And once we hit second column, we'll get that profit that we've lost back. And here we go. That's a 26 black. There we go. That's a $90 win. We're back up $90. So now in the second spot, we have the 16. And this is the history that I'm looking at. We'll put the $10 bet there. And then the 15 is in the third column. We'll put that $20 bet up there for our $30 total bet. One's 10, one's 20. And here we go. Okay, that's a 20 black. So that means we lost that one. So we're going to increase those by what we started with. 20 to 40, 10 to 20. And let's spin. So far, so good. Let's see what we get here. And that's a 20 black. That's another loss. Back-to-back 20. So those are going to increase by what they started with. 40 goes to 60. The 20 goes to 30. And let's spin. Here we go. That's a 12 red. That's a nice $90 win. And now we're back up 90. We look for the second spot again, which is the 20. That's our $10 bet. And then there's also a 20 in the third spot. So we go to the next one, which is also in the second column. And then after that's the 16 red. So we put our $20 bet there on the first column. So that's how we figure out the bets. And here we go. And that's a 00. So that's not good for anybody. And let's go ahead and increase those by what we started with. 20 goes to 40, 10 goes to 20. And let's spin. Don't hit the 0 again. It tried to, didn't it? That's a 9 red. And we lost again. Okay, so the 20 goes to 30. The 40 goes to 60. So, one goes up 20 each time. One goes up 10 each time. And that's an 18 red. Wow, we lost again. So let's go ahead and increase again. 30 goes to 40. 60 goes to 80. And let's spin. So one's going up $20, one's going up $10. That's a 13 black. That's a nice $120 win, but we're only up 30. So when that happens, then you're basically going to go back to the start, and you're going to have to build it back up again. But normally you're not going to. You're going to get a win, but before that. So let's go ahead now, and the 13 black. The 18 red is in the third column. We're going to put $10 there. The 9 is next. It's in the same column. The 12 is in the same column. The 20 is next. So we'll put the $20 bet there. And don't worry, we'll build it back up again. We just had way more losses than what's normal for this system. And that's okay. We're still in profit. That's a nice $30 win. And you can see we're back up $60. So we're okay. But it's much safer to go back to the start and not try to chase it if you do have a bad run. So now we're looking at the 13 black. Let's put our $10 bet there. And then our $20 bet on the third column. Systems that have to always be in profit all the time. And in the ones that you push to the limit are the ones where you lose your bankroll. And this is much safer to go ahead and reset when that happens. Okay, we'll go 20 to 40 and 10 to 20. Okay, here we go. Because normally you're not going to miss, when you're betting on 2 or 3 dozens, normally you're not going to miss 5, 6 times in a row. But it can happen, and that's a nice $60 win there. We're up 90, and the 29 is the number we're looking at, so that's our $10 bet. And the 17's in the same column, so we're looking at the 13. So that's our $20 bet on the 13. All right, here we go. That is a 33 black. And we lost that one. So, man, we've lost a lot of the first ones. And we'll go 10 to 20, 20 to 40. And let's see if we can hit first column. If we hit second, we'll break even. And another 00. Wow. Okay, so we're going to go up again. 20 to 30, 40 to 60, and spin. All right, no more 00s or zeros. That's a 26 black. That's a break even. That won't hurt us any. So we'll just rebet and spin. And here we go. Okay, and this one cycles a little bit. That's a 17 black. That's another break even. Let's rebet and spin. And once we get the win, we should be in good shape. Here we go. That's a 17, another break even. And that's a lot of second column hits. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. Let's get a first column hit. That's a 34. That should be a win. That's a $90 win. We're back up 90, and let's build it back up. And looks like we're looking at the 17 for the $10 bet, and then it's second column for a while because we had so many losses. So now we're going to third column, which is that 33 black representative. So we're going to have a $20 bet up there on the third column, and let's spin. I think we got it right out of the gate. That's a nice $30 win. Now we're back up 120. So this one definitely cycles, and we're going to build it back up. So now we're looking at the 34 red. We'll put our $10 bet there, and our $20 bet on the second column representing that 17 black. Okay, here we go. And I think we got it. It's another $30 win. So now you can see we're back up 150. In the second spot, we're looking at third column. That's our $10 bet. And then 34 will be our $20 bet, which is first column. And let's spin. That's an 8 black. Okay, that's a loss. So we'll increase those by what we started with. 10 to 20, 20 to 40. All right, here we go. That's a 20 black. And another loss. So we'll increase again by what we started with. 20 goes to 30, 40 goes to 60, $90 total bet out there right now. We need a first column hit. That's a 16 red. That's a nice $90 win, and now we're back up 150. So now we're looking at the 20 for our $10 bet, and the number 8 is also there. 32 is also there. So we're looking for the third column for our $20 bet. It's the next in line after all those second column hits. And that's a 7 red. And we lost. We've had a lot of first hit losses, but it happens. And so we go from 10 to 20 and 20 to 40. Or I'm sorry, 20 to 30 and 20 to 40. Okay, that's a nice $30 win. Now we're back up 150, and we're looking at the 7. We'll put our $10 bet there. And the 16 is also in that same column. So that means the 20 is next, which will be our $20 bet. And here we go. Let's see if we can get a win here. That's a 33 black. Again, lost on the first attempt. So we'll go 20 to 40, 10 to 20. And here we go. So they're not doubling. They're going up by what they started with. And that's a 24 black. Lost again. And we'll go up again. 40 to 60, 20 to 30. $90 total bet. And let's see if we can get a good win here. That's a 26 black. That's a nice $90 win. And we're back up 150. So we're looking at the 24 for our $10 bet. 33 is in the same column. 15, the same column. 7. So we'll have our $20 bet on first column. And let's spin. Okay, that's a 28 black. That's a nice $30 win. Now we're back up 180. Now, and you can see how this cycles. We're looking at the 26 for our $10 bet, 24 for our $20 bet. Definitely cycling. You want to cash out when it cycles up. And here we go. That's a 25 red. Lost again, first attempt. So 20 to 40, 10 to 20. Looking for a third column hit, and let's spin. That's a 35 black. I think that's a break even. And it is, so still up 150 right now. We'll just rebet and spin, but once we get a win on third column, we'll boost back up there. That's a 21 red. There we go. That's a nice $60 win. Now we're up to 10. So now we're looking at the 35 for our $10 bet and the 25 for our $20 bet. And here we go. Let's see what we get here. That's an 18 red. Okay, we lost that one. Let's increase by what we started with. 10 to 20, 20 to 40. Let's see if we can get a first column hit. And here we go. Okay, that's a 3 red. Total loss again. And we will increase 20 to 40. Oops. Make sure those are right. 40 to 60. So that one will be 10, 20, 10, 20, 30, 20, 40, 60. So this one should be, yeah, 40. Make sure that's right. So 40 and 60. Okay, let's go ahead and spin. Okay, that's a 24 black. And we lost again, so we'll increase by what we started with. And I think actually this would have been, let's see, yeah, 10 to 20, 20. Yeah, we had that right. So that one will go to 50, and then this one will go 60 to 80. And let's spin. And we've had a lot of losses here. Let's see if we can get back on track. That's a 19 red. That's a $110 win. How about that? Now we're back up 130. Now we're looking at the 24. And again, it cycles, doesn't it? So it cycles up, cycles down. You want to cash out when it's up. And the next one after that, after the 24, is the 3, which is in the same column. The 18 is in the same column. The 21 is also. And then the 35 is next. So that's our $20 bet. So we're looking for a second column hit here. Let's see if we can get one. And another 00. It happens, and let's increase. 10 to 20, 20 to 40. So we're looking for that second column hit. And the third column will break even. That's a 12 red. It's another break even. We're up 100 now. Let's rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 21 red. Another break even. Up 100 still. Rebet and spin. And let's see if we can get a good second column hit here. That's a 13 black. That's a total loss. So we're going to increase by what we started with. 20 to 30, 40 to 60, and spin. Okay. That's a 23 red. There's a $90 win. So we just hit the 15-minute mark. So we made $130 in 15 minutes with Silent Tiger's new system, where we're betting on $20 on the third from last, or the longest since it's hit, and then the second to last would be a $10 bet. And that was very interesting and definitely cycled. So anytime you're using a cycling system, there's positives positives and negatives to it. The positive to it is that you're probably not going to lose your bankroll because it's cycling the amount of money that you're making, and you're not making huge risks. But you need to also know that you need to cash out when you're up. Don't wait for it to cycle back down. And thank you, Silent Tiger, for sending this one in. And I love seeing new systems. And thank you guys for sending all the new systems in. You guys are fantastic. Remember to send those to roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. That's roulettemaster.c@gmail.com. And I hope you're enjoying this search with me for the search for the best roulette system possible each and every day. And really appreciate you guys coming with me on this journey. And if you're enjoying it, please like, share, and subscribe. And let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. This is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.